Hey, it's Butch with CCS. Here we're going to look at the Susnet T3. We're going to go through two types of ways to make calls, through the PRI and through the trunking, and also how to check options on this, and go over the cables as well. This right here is a homemade Bantam, which you can see these Bantam ends, to RJ45. It's pins 1 and 2 to one of these pins, which is the receive and transmit, are both in here. You can see that. That pin out is actually going to be listed online, but that's what we're going to use to interface with the Smart Jack. We're going to kind of look at the T-Bird and go through the settings. The first thing you want to do is, when you power it up, is check out the setup interface. If you hit enter there, you'll actually see a couple different options. The way the T3 works and the T10 is you actually have your options down here. So if you're highlighted on DS1 right there, you have your options down here, F1, F2, F3, and you can even go more. We're actually most of the time going to be testing on DS1. If this was a DS3, you could choose DS3 and you'd have a whole different set of options. So I'm actually going to go back up to this and set it for DS1. And I'm just going to go through and just set up all the DS1 information. We have a framing, that's going to be ESF. Our testing, that's going to be if we want to set up a pattern test. Our rate, 1.544 is correct. This is going to be set up for, that's receive. That's actually going to be set up for term, because we're terminating calls. Our code is going to be B8ZS. Our TMX LBO is going to be 0 decibels. Our transmit clock, this is one we do need to update. We need to set it for DS1 RX, or recovered loop. So when you do that, you have your keys down here, and you can just hit the escape button. Escape button will exit us out. Escape, and we're back to the main menu. So in the main menu, we're just going to go down. We're first going to go through how to make a PRI test call. So if we go down here, we're going to go to other measurements, or actually let's do this first. If you're not sure if you can even make PRI test calls, you can actually go to other features. You can go to version options down here, and you can see which versions you have. And as you can see, this has VF measurement access, which is D. That's going to let us make trunkside calling. You got E for DTMF calling, and if we go down, we'll actually see this has L on the T3 is ISDN PRI. So we can do everything we need to do with this thing. So I'm going to hit escape, and go to the main menu. The first thing we're going to do is make a trunkside call. To do this, we're going to go to voice frequency function down here. Hit enter. You see VF measurements. Let's hit enter there, and let's just see what our options are. This transmit and receive channel, this is basically where you set the channel you're testing. So I can hit down here next and previous, F1 and F2. I can hit F2 and go, and we'll see, hey, that's channel 24, 23, 22. Most of the time you're going to stick with 1 for testing, at least beginning. Your insert type is going to be talk. Your tone frequency, all this should probably stay the same. 1004 is good, tone level 0 decibels. And this stuff can pretty much stay the same. We're going to hit escape and go to view supervision. Actually, that we don't even have to go there. I'm not really sure what that is, but that's going to tell you what's going on with the different channels, actually. We're going to hit escape. Let's go to dial supervision setup. And here you'll see kind of what we got going on. The most important thing on this page is this right here, supervision trunk type. Deltacom's going to have to tell us if it's loop start, ground start, or set up for E&M wink. If it's loop start, you just pick F3 down here, loop start. Then you have the option, it's FXS or FXO. Most of the time it's going to be FXS, loop start. If it's not that, if it's E&M wink, we can just hit F1. Bam, there we go. This other stuff, we should be good, kind of leaving that. You can hit the escape key, and this is actually where you're going to go to place and receive a call. So you can hit enter here, And here you got your method up here. We're actually going to set that for DTMF. And we're going to go down, and this is pretty much where you go off hook and on hook. Okay, you can go off hook. You can send a flash. Go back on hook. You can send a wink. I mean, you can pretty much do everything from here. This number, you can basically go in and enter the phone number you want to call, and that'll set that up. To do that, just highlight that area. I'm going to back it up a little so you can kind of see. You may not be able to see the screen as well, but if you back it up, you hit the shift button. See, these numbers are yellow down here. You hit the shift key, and then you start typing numbers. So if I wanted to dial 205, I'm actually going to start up here. This is the 2 with the shift down. All I have to do is hit it once. 205, 2, 6, 3, and just kind of go that way. If you goof up, just hit the shift key again, and then hit it again and start typing in. Well, hit the shift key again, hit the left arrow key, back to the beginning. You can hit shift again, and you'll start over. So shift, go back to the beginning, and you can start over. So that's how you set a number. Down here, this is also where you can choose your channel. I'll move this in a little. And you can choose your channel here as well. So channel 2, channel 3 are through there. So that's pretty much how you make calls. When you go off hook, it should start dialing that number. Or if you're receiving a call, you can actually enter that from here. And also, just so you know, up here, before you really start testing, you should, over here to the right side, you have your different options. Your power plug, serial port if anybody has a printer. Down here is actually the DS3 cable connections, and up here is our DS1 connections. And I'm actually going to plug in transmit to transmit, and receive is over here. I'm actually going to plug that to receive. And I don't have a T1 to test with, but I can actually loop back this and get a good connection. So I'm going to plug this loop back in, and you're going to see some lights turn green, which is a good thing. So we got some green lights. That's what our T1 should look like. You're going to see this B8ZS light up when we got traffic coming through it. So that's what it should be like, and we'll kind of keep the rest of this here. My battery's running a little low, so we're going to breeze on through this. So we're actually going to go exit out. We're actually going to go over now how to test the ISDN PRI.